got mail.
It's from Germany, the new leader of Germany. He has a cool mustache.
Mustache.
They all decided to be friends because they had so much in common.
Meshida jokes about Japan.
Hey guys, it's Meshida here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am a comedian and I introduce funny Japanese culture. If you are interested in that, please subscribe to my channel. So today, I'm going to be reacting a video called History of Japan. This video is very popular on YouTube. And I love history. I'm really interested in doing this. Of course, as a comedian, I try to say some jokes about it too. So let's check it out.
Meshida.
それでは見ていきましょう。
Japan is an island by the sea filled with volcanoes and it's beautiful. In the year negative a billion, Japan might not have been here. In the year negative 40,000, it was here, and you could walk to it, and some people walked to it. Then it got warmer, some icebergs melted, it became an island.
So, first joke. Even 10,000 years ago, Japan wanted to keep its distance from Korea. But I love Korea.
Now there's lots of trees, because it's warmer. So now there's people on the island. They're basically sort of hanging out in between the mountains, eating nuts off trees and using the latest technology, like stones and bowls. Ding dong, it's the outside world, and they have technology from the future, like really good metal and crazy rice farms. Now you can make a lot of rice really, really quickly. That means if you own the farm, you own a lot of food, which is something everybody needs to survive. So that makes you king. Rice farming and rice kingdoms.
Rice kingdoms. You guys know, Japanese family name show our ancestors. For example, my family name is Meshida, and the first kanji means rice, and second kanji means rice field. So, my family name means rice field. My ancestors must have been kings of the rice kingdom. Anyway, I like bread more than rice. Sorry, great grandfather.
Spread across the land, all the way to here. The most important kingdoms were here, and here. But this one was the most important.
Yes, Yamato was the first time Japan became unified.
Ruled by a heavenly super person, or emperor for short. Knock knock, get the door, it's religion. The new prince wants everyone to try this hot new religion from BOX. Please try this religion, he said. No, said everybody. Try it, he said. No, said everybody again, quieter this time. And so the religion was put into place, and all the rules that came with it.
So, Japan's native religion is Shinto. But do you guys know how Japanese people accepted Buddhism? Actually, the Japanese governor said, Buddhist gods turn into Shinto's gods, like a Power Ranger. And we believed it.
Then the government was taken over by another clique, and they made some reforms, like making the government govern more, and making the government more like China's government, which is a government that governs more. Hi, China, they said. Hi, dipshit, said China. Can you call us something else other than dipshit, said Japan. Like what, said China. How about sunrise land?
So, we sent a letter to China like, this is from Sunrise Kingdom to Sunset Kingdom. It is said, China got angry and said, shut the fuck up, Rice Kingdom,
said Japan. And they stole China's alphabet and wrote a book. So,
in the Kojiki, the oldest Japan's history book, it is said that Japan was created by a god and goddess having sex. They were brother and sister. Yes, Japan was made through incest. That's why Japan's islands are shaped weirdly.
About themselves. And then they made lots of poetry and art and another book about themselves. Then they stopped moving the capital every time the emperor died and kept it in one place for a while, right here. And they conquered the north finally. Get that squared away. A rich hipster named Kukai is bored with modern Buddhism, visits China, and learns a better version, which is more spiritual. Comes back, reinvents the alphabet, and causes art and literature to be great.
In the Heian era, there were many women writers. They wrote many famous books, such as The Pillow Book and The Tale of Genji. Now we call them erotic novels.
For a long time, And the royal palace turned into such a dream world of art that they really didn't give a shit about running the country. So if you live outside the palace, how are you supposed to protect your shit from criminals? Hire a samurai.
Yes,
Everyone
samurai.
started hiring samurai.
Oh.
Rich, important people hired samurai. Poor people who could not afford to hire samurai did not hire samurai. The samurai became organized and powerful, more powerful than the government. So they made their own military government. Here, they let the emperor still be emperor, but the shogun is actually in control. Breaking news, the Mongols have invaded China.
We've invaded China.
Said the Mongols.
Please respect us, or else we might invade you as well.
Okay, said Japan.
Okay.
So the Mongols came over, ready for war, and died in a tornado. But they tried again, and had a nice time fighting with the Japanese, but then died in a tornado.
We thought God created the big storms to protect us from the Mongolians. Then we called them kamikaze. Kami means God. Kaze means wind. It means God's wind, our divine wind. But actually, it's not kamikaze. Just the Mongolians came to Japan in typhoon season twice.
Then the emperor overthrows the shogunate. Then the shogunate overthrows him back and moves to Kyoto and makes a new shogunate. And the emperor can still dress like an emperor if he wants, that's fine. Now there's more art. Like painting with less colors, collaborative poetry, plays, monkey fun.
What? 何 I don't know what is monkey fun. It sounds racist. If you know about it, please leave a comment.
Tea parties, gardening, architecture, flowers. It's time for who's going to be the next shogun. Usually it's the shogun's kid, but the shogun doesn't have a kid, so he tries to get his brother to quit being a monk and be the next shogun. He says okay, but then the shogun has a kid. So now who's it going to be? Vote now on your phones. And everyone voted so hard that the palace caught on fire and burned down. The shogun actually didn't care. He was off somewhere doing poetry. And the whole country broke into pieces. Everyone is fighting with each other for local power, and it's anybody's game. Knock knock, it's Europe. No, they're not here to take over. They just want to sell some shit, like clocks, and guns, and Jesus.
Jesus! Some leaders were known as Christian samurai. They believed in Christ, even though they never read the Bible, the same as young Christians today.
So that's cool, but everyone's still fighting each other for control, now with guns.
It is said at that time, Japan had the highest gun possession rate in the world.
And wouldn't it be nice to control the capital, which right now is puppets, with no one controlling them?
Puppets, like Joe Biden. I'm joking. Even if you tell him what to do, he forgets by lunchtime. Let's go.
This clan is ready to make a run for it, but first they have to trample this smaller clan, which is in the way. Surprise, the smaller clan wins, and the leader of that clan steals the idea of invading the capital and invades the capital. And it goes very well. He's about halfway through conquering Japan when someone who works for him kills him, and then someone else who works for him kills them, and that guy finishes conquering Japan. And then he confiscated everybody's swords, and made some rules. And now I'm going to invade Korea, and then hopefully China, he said, and failed, and also died.
So, Japanese people see him as a great leader, but Korean people called him great invader.
But before he died, he told these 5 guys to take care of his 5-year-old son until he's old enough to be the next ruler of Japan. And the 5 guys said, yeah, right, it's not going to be this kid, it's going to be one of us, because we're grown-ups. And it's probably going to be this guy, who happens to be way more rich and powerful.
Why Trump appeared? Because Ieyasu Tokugawa created a dynasty the same as Trump, but his family ruled for 260 years. Trump was out in just 4 years. Make America no more great again. 全然似てねえな。じゃあ行きます。
than the others. A lot of people support him, but a lot of people support not supporting him. They have a fight, and he wins, and starts a new government, right here. And he still lets the emperor dress like an emperor, and have very nice things. But don't get confused, this is the new government, and they are very strict. So strict they close the country. No one can leave, and no one can come in. Except for the Dutch, if they want to buy and sell shit, but they have to do it right here.
We had a trade with China too.
Now that the entire country was not at war with itself, the population increased a lot. Business increased, schools were built, roads were built, everyone learned to read, books were published, there was poetry, plays, sexy times.
Shunga is a very popular art of this era. I made a video about it. If you are interested in that, please check it out.
Puppet shows and Dutch studies. People started to study European science from books they bought from the Dutch. We're talking geography, skeletons, physics, chemistry, astronomy, and maybe even electricity.
So, many Japanese people studied Dutch as a foreign language. We believed Dutch was a global language. Then, when other countries came to Japan, we couldn't understand what they said. What the fuck? We realized Dutch was completely useless. We still haven't managed to learn English.
Over time, the economic and cultural prosperity began to gradually slow down. Knock knock. It's the United States,
America.
with huge boats, with guns. Gunboats.
Gunboats.
Open the country. Stop having it be closed, said the United States.
His name was Perry, and all Japanese people know him. He is an American, famous only in Japan, like Elvis Spector. The reason why America and other European countries came to Japan was there were many whales around Japan. At that time, the whale shipping industry had a big market due to the oil from whales. They just took the oil and threw away the rest. I think eating the whole whale is a lot of more eco-friendly. Greta Thunberg would approve.
There was really nothing they could do, so they signed a contract that lets the United States, Britain, and Russia visit Japan anytime they want. Choshu and Satsuma hated this. That sucks, they said. This sucks. And with almost very little outside help, they overthrew the shogunate.
The young revolutionaries were supported by Britain, and the shogun, our samurai governor, was supported by France. Even back then, French people liked Japanese culture. Now, they support Japanese culture by buying all our manga. Thank you very much.
Somehow made the emperor again and moved him to Edo, which they renamed Eastern Capital. They made a new government, which was a lot more Western. They made a new constitution that was pretty Western, and a military that was pretty Western. And do you know what else is Western?
Yes. Toilets. The answer is?
That's right, it's conquering stuff. So what can we conquer? Korea. They conquer Korea, taking it from its previous owner, China, and then go a little bit further. And Russia rushes in out of nowhere and says, "Stop, no, you can't take that. We were going to build a railroad through here to try to get some warm water." And Russia builds their railroad, supervised by a shit ton of soldiers. And then when the railroad was done, they downgraded to a fuck ton. Did I say downgrade? I meant upgrade. And Japan says, "Can you maybe chill?" And Russia says, "How about maybe you chill?" Japan is kind of scared of Russia. You'll never guess who's also kind of scared of Russia. Great Britain.
Yes.
So Japan and Great Britain make an alliance together so they can be a little less scared of Russia. Feeling confident, Japan goes to war against Russia, just for a moment, and then they both get tired and stop.
What? He said stop. At school, I was told we won the war. This was a very important war for Japan because yellow people were against white people. We misunderstood and thought we could be Western countries. This was where we began to go astray.
It's time for World War I. The world is about to have a war because it's the 1900s and weapons are getting crazy, and all these empires are excited to try them out on each other. Meanwhile, Japan has been enjoying conquering stuff and wants more. And the next thing on their list is this part of China and lots of tiny islands. All that stuff belongs to Germany, which just had war declared on it by Britain because Britain was friends with Belgium, which was being trespassed by Germany in order to get to France to kick France's ass because France is friends with Russia, who was getting ready to kick Austria's ass because Austria was getting ready to kick Serbia's ass because someone from Serbia shot the leader of Austria's ass. Or actually shot him in the head. And Britain is currently friends with Japan, so you know what that means. Duh, Japan should take the islands. Which they wanted to do anyway, so they called Britain on the telly to sort of let them know. And then they did it. And they also helped Britain a little here and there with some errands and stuff. Now the war is over, and congratulations, Japan, you technically fought in the war, which means you get to sit at the negotiating table.
Do you guys know, Japan was the first country to request the removal of racial discrimination in the Paris Peace Conference in 1990. We thought Asia should be controlled by Asian, as in us.
With the big dudes, where they decided who owns what. And yes, Japan gets to keep all that shit they stole from Germany. You also get to join the post-war mega alliance, the League of Nations, whose mission statement is to try not to take over the world. The Great Depression is bad, and Japan's economy is now crappy, but the military is doing just fine, and it invades Manchuria. In the League of Nations, it's like, no, don't do that. If you're in the League of Nations, you're not supposed to take over the world. And Japan said, how about I do anyway? And Japan invaded more and more and more and more of China, and was planning to invade the entire East.
You've got mail.
It's from Germany, the new leader of Germany. He has a cool mustache, and he's trying to take over the world and needs friends. This also got forwarded to Italy. They all decided to be friends because they had so much in common. It's time for World War II. Germany is invading the neighbors. Then they invade the neighbors' neighbors. Then the neighbors' neighbors' neighbors, who happen to be Britain, said, "Holy shit." The United States started helping Britain because they are good friends, and started not helping Japan because they're friends and are...
I'm a little bit tired, so same as the history class, I will first forward.
Friends are not friends. It's about invading the ocean. The United States is also working on a large, very huge bomb, bigger than any other bomb ever, just in case. But they still haven't joined the war. War looks bad on TV. The United States is really starting to care about their image. But then Japan spits on them in writing and challenges them to war. And they say yes. And then Germany has a similar friendship, declares war on the United States also. So the United States goes to war in Europe, and they help the gang chase Germany back into Germany. They also start chasing Japan back into Japan. And they haven't used the bomb yet, and are curious to see if it works.
Oh my god.
So they drop it on Japan. They actually dropped 2.
The atomic bomb dropped in Hiroshima was named Little Boy. The one in Nagasaki was named Fat Man. First, Little Boy, and then Fat Man. Same as the American people. Even the atomic bomb grew up unhealthy.
United States installed a new government, inspired by the United States government, with just the right ingredients for a post-war economic miracle.
After World War II, we lost everything and were poor. The Korean War gave us a lot of money and our economy grew. In order to become a real developed country, you must profit of another country's war. We could finally join the club.
And Japan starts making TVs, VCRs, automobiles, and camcorders as fast as they can, and also better than everybody else. They get rich, and the economy goes wild, and then the miracle wears off. But everything's still pretty cool, I guess. Bye!
That's all. Okay.
Meshida.
Wow, I love this video. This is awesome. You can learn Japanese history in just 9 minutes. You know, we Japanese learn a lot about history at school. But after the test, we forget everything, the same as English. So, if you have a video you want me make fun of or joke about, please write it in your comment below. So, thank you very much for watching this video. So, see you soon. Bye bye.